is the most important factor in being able to control what happens to it once it's left your hand. Ball measure between 70.5 and 80 millimeters in diameter, and you need to play with ball that are the right size for your hand. If the ball is too big for you, then when you turn your hand over, you will have to grip it too tightly, and this will seriously affect your control when you let go. As a general rule, you should hold the ball with your fingers close together and your thumb resting alongside. Your fingertips should reach at least halfway round the ball, and you should be able to hold the ball with your hand relaxed. Another reason for holding the ball this way is that it then allows it to spin backwards in the air off your fingertips, which increases your control of what it does after it's landed. The legal weight range for competition ball is 650 to 800 grams, and it's important that you do not opt for ball which are too heavy. Shooters in particular need to be aware that throwing balls at the heavier end of the range throughout a day of competition can be very tiring, and so most tend to opt for ball weighing 700 grams or less. Younger players should also be encouraged to play with the lightest available ball. The ground surface that you play on, the piste, can vary enormously between different playing areas called terrains, or even on the same terrain. It may have a hard or soft base. It may have a thin or thick covering of a variety of top dressings, or none at all. It may have large stones or fine grit, and it may be perfectly flat or covered with hills and hollows. It may also have various degrees of slope from edge to edge or corner to corner, and finally, it may change character completely depending on whether it's wet or dry. All these variations mean that you need to be able to adapt your style, particularly as a pointer, to achieve whatever you're trying to do, and the right grip and the right ball are crucial to that aim. Your stance. You need to think about the way that you stand in the circle, whether pointing or shooting. If you're right-handed, you should stand with your right foot pointing towards the direction of throw and your left slightly behind and at a slight angle to the left. This has the effect of moving your right hip out of the way to allow you to swing your arm in a straight line towards the target, and also to give you some sideways stability. Left-handers need to reverse these guidelines. It's important to keep your feet quite close together, since the minimum size circle is 35 centimeters in diameter, and both feet must be completely within the inside of the marked line when you throw. If you get used to standing with feet wide apart, it will affect your technique if you're forced to play with them much closer together. You should feel comfortable, balanced, and relaxed before you begin the throwing movement. Backswing. To make sure that you can throw to a full range of distances and heights, it's important to lift your arm behind you in the highest backswing that you can comfortably manage. Not only does it give you a longer acceleration of your arm to throw further, but it also gives your arm the best chance of creating a straight line of throw. Follow through. When you swing through from behind, you should try to keep your arm as straight as possible in the direction that you want the ball to go, and follow through with a full extension of the arm to about head height. Release. Unless you deliberately want to spin a ball sideways, you should try to keep your hand level as you open it up at the end of the swing to give the ball a chance to spin backwards off your fingertips. Most players who see their ball skidding offline when they land are unconsciously putting side spin on them, usually from right to left in the case of right-handers. How to use your other arm. To keep your shoulder girdle square and fairly still during throwing, it helps if you extend your other arm to the side and slightly backwards. If you're